Hey guys, this is Courtney with GrayLaw TV, and today we're going to talk about all things COVID-19. This is a really fluid situation. I know that Humberto already did a COVID-19 video that was towards the beginning. Today we're going to talk about all the developments since then. I'm coming to you from my backyard because I am working remotely a lot of the time. You might see my dogs or my kids come through the shot at some point or hear them. That's just the way of the world right now, right? We're all homeschooling and working the best we can and trying to get through the best we can. Right now, all of the USCIS offices, field offices, are closed. They are making emergency appointments, so if you do need to travel, let's say, unfortunately, if there was a death in the family, someone's very ill, something like that, and you have documentation of that, you can call the USCIS customer service line and try to get an appointment for that, if it's somewhere that you are able to travel to and feel comfortable doing that. They are making emergency appointments for that, but all other appointments are canceled. Okay, so there's no naturalization ceremonies. They're going to reschedule those. There are no marriage interviews. There are no green card interviews. There are no citizenship interviews happening right now. All of those will be rescheduled. If you do get an emergency appointment and then you are feeling sick, do not go. Okay, they would not be happy about that. Do not go to your appointment, cancel it, reschedule it, okay? And let them know why, so they know that you're not just being flaky or not just showing up. I want to talk about what happens if you're outside of the country and you're waiting to come in with your green card, or you're on your non-immigrant visa that you got approved and they don't have appointments anymore, all the consulates are closed, what to do. Honestly, we just have to wait, okay? They are aware of your appointment. If you don't, once this all lifts, if you don't get your appointment, start contacting them. Just keep going to the consular website. Make sure you're keeping up to speed and up to date about what's happening there. After this all lifts, if you had an appointment in the United States and you don't get a notice, keep abreast of what's going on. Go to the website. They will start letting us know when they're going to start issuing these interview notices again. And so just sort of stay in tune and up to date if you have a lawyer, which I highly suggest that you have a reputable lawyer. So just go to the websites, or talk to your lawyer. They know what's going on. We are, we're still working. Our office is open. You'll call, you'll get our receptionist. She's at home, but the calls are going straight to her. We're being safe, but we're still working around the clock trying to get all this accomplished, and I'm sure all of your lawyers are too, and the good folks at USCIS are doing that too. So just keep going to the website sites, keep talking to your attorney, staying up to date with all of this, and they'll start to, once this all lifts, generate the interview notice. The consulates abroad will start doing that. The field offices will start doing that. I wouldn't be surprised if some fell through the cracks. So stay on top of it. If you don't hear something within a reasonable time period, let's say on their website it says they're going to issue them all within 60 days and now it's been 65 days and you haven't heard anything, then maybe I would start calling, okay? But let's cross that bridge when we get to it. For now, let's talk about all the changes that are going on. For your ESTA, okay? You came for vacation and all of this went down. What do? I know that certain people were going to the airports, or they were going to field offices while they were still open in the beginning and going to deferred inspection and requesting an extension on the ESTAs, and that was working sometimes. I haven't heard that recently that is. If you feel comfortable going to an airport, that is something that you can try doing to at least show that you tried. Have them stamp something, give you something showing that you tried to do that. Otherwise, I would print out have a copy of everything. Keep a folder. This is my ESTA. This is the date I was supposed to leave. This is when the stay-at-home orders happened. This is when the do not travel unless it's an emergency order happened. I didn't think that this was an emergency. There's no emergency basis for me to leave. If you have any kind of high-risk condition, document that as well. If you live with anyone with a high-risk condition, document that as well, so you can show that you couldn't travel, because then you would be putting someone in your house at home at risk, or you couldn't go to the airport to try and get an extension, because then you'd be putting someone that you're staying with in the United States at risk, or yourself at risk. So, just document. If your country has a no travel ordinance in place, document that as well. We had folks that were from Italy that needed to go back to care for their parents, and it wasn't quite certain that they were going to be able to return afterward, because they weren't U.S. citizens. So if you travel outside, it's going to be hard to come back. Okay, at least until this is over. We have another video on grace periods. Make sure you watch that video on grace periods so you know just where you stand and how quickly you're supposed to get things done. During this period, I would say two weeks a month, you're absolutely fine. If you are in the United States without documentation for more than 6 months, you are banned for 3 years. Okay? If you are in the United States without documentation for a year or more, you are banned for 10 years. Okay? So just make sure you don't hit those thresholds. And I would venture to guess that when you exit and try to re-enter, that and explain, I got stuck, I overstayed during COVID, but look, I've entered and exited the United States many times. I never overstayed. It was just during that period that we were ordered to stay at home, and it was scary to travel, and I printed all these things from the CDC. I would never overstay. It was just during that time when they told us to shelter in place that I did that. And so I hope that I don't get into trouble for doing that. I just did the best thing that I thought I could. All we can do right now is the best that we can, right? So we're staying as safe as we can. We're staying indoors. We're doing the best we can. And that's all we can do. And I think you're going to be just fine.